Welcome back to the Explainer. Yesterday, we laid down the basic structural groundwork, right? Well, today, we are taking a massive leap forward. We're moving straight into stylized content. We're going to master the exact tags that modern web browsers and, let's be real, strict examiners absolutely demand for rendering complex info. I'm talking algebraic equations, dynamic highlights, the whole shebang. Look at the incredible jump we're making here. On the left side, you've got our basic blank canvas from yesterday. Structural, sure, but pretty empty. But transition over to the right, and boom, we have complex, stylized data. We're essentially taking that structural skeleton and building rich, meaningful content out of it. We're talking chemical formulas, algebraic equations, and dynamic price drops. That's our focus for today.
Okay, here's our game plan for today. 1. Beyond visuals, focusing on semantic tags. 2. Math and science formatting. 3. The editor's toolkit. And finally, 4. The execution protocol and a quick challenge. Let's get to it.
Kicking things off with Section 1, Beyond Visuals, Semantic Tags.
You know, the real secret to modern HTML is understanding the difference between just formatting something for the human eye versus actually structuring it for a machine. Historically, developers would just use physical tags, like the B tag, literally just to make text bold. But HTML5 totally changed the game with semantic tags. To you and me, looking at a screen, they look completely identical, but beneath the surface, they are doing entirely different jobs.
This perfectly illustrates those two diverging paths. If you follow path A and wrap the word important in a physical B tag, yeah, it makes it bold for a human, but it leaves a search engine crawler or a screen reader completely in the dark. The actual meaning is empty. But if we take path B using the semantic strong tag, the visual result is exactly the same, but now we are directly communicating high importance to the machine. That right there is the power of semantic formatting.
Let's really lock this in. Notice the contrast here between the visual canvas and the actual machine meaning. Physical tags like B or I and semantic tags like strong or em, they render the exact same bold and italic visuals on your screen. But in the code, physical tags are just empty formatting. Semantic tags actually inject emphasis and importance into the document. Honestly, for top marks on an exam or top search rankings in the real world, defaulting to semantic HTML5 is absolutely non-negotiable.
Moving right along to Section 2, Math and Science Formatting.
Okay, so if you've ever tried typing a chemical formula or an algebraic equation in plain text, you know it's a complete visual disaster. It just doesn't work. So, opening up the scientist's toolkit, we have the sub tag, short for subscript. This physically pushes characters below the standard baseline, which is absolutely essential if you want to render something like H2O correctly. Then, over in the mathematician's toolkit, we have the subtag, superscript. That lifts the character above the baseline, which you obviously need for powers and exponents like x squared plus y squared. They are such simple tags, but they have a massive impact.
That brings us to Section 3, the editor's toolkit. Think about when a document changes. Maybe a price drops on an e-commerce site or a paragraph gets updated. We aren't just taking a digital pen and crossing things out visually. We're actually telling a semantic story of how that document is evolving over time. We use specific elements to explicitly tell search engines, hey, this old information, it's gone, and this new information has just arrived.
Let's break down the anatomy of a price drop to see this in action. First, we take the old $50 price tag and we wrap it in the del tag, which stands for deleted. Sure, it strikes it through visually on the page, but more importantly, it semantically marks it as removed in the code. Next, the new $40 price is wrapped in the ins tag for inserted, which automatically adds an underline. When you combine those on the canvas, you get a perfectly rendered update, and search engines now understand without a shadow of a doubt that the price has officially changed.
To finish off this editor's toolkit, you really need a way to make certain words just jump right off the screen, but without fundamentally changing their core structural meaning. Enter the mark tag. Honestly, you can think of the mark tag exactly like reaching into your pencil case and pulling out a bright fluorescent digital highlighter pen.
For example, take a sentence like, pay attention to the important keywords here. By wrapping the words important keywords inside that mark tag, it instantly draws the reader's eye by throwing a bright yellow background behind it. It's incredibly effective for guiding user attention through dense blocks of text, making sure you're highlighting exactly what matters most.
All right, let's wrap things up with Section 4, the execution protocol, and our final challenge.
So how do we put all this together? To secure top marks and write perfectly standard-compliant code, just follow this 5-step protocol. Start by declaring your standard HTML structure with the proper doc type.
Never skip that. Then add heading elements so you have clear topic titles. Next up, carefully apply your sub and sup tags for any of those math or science formulas. After that, methodically combine your mark, del, and ins tags for those dynamic updates we talked about. And finally, save your file and verify the rendering in your browser. Methodical execution is totally the secret sauce here.
And here is exactly why that protocol matters. It allows you to build a beautifully complex web element. Take a sentence like this. Buy the H2SO4 guide, was $100, now $80, and master a squared plus b squared. It reads super simply on the canvas, right? But the underlying architecture is working overtime. We have the sub tag dropping the numbers in the asset formula. We have del striking out the old price, paired up with ins underlining the new one. The mark tag is highlighting the word master, and the sub tag is lifting those algebra exponents. It's like a giant puzzle, and they all work seamlessly together in a single perfectly coded block.
Which brings us to your final challenge, the Day 02 visual teardown. I want you to analyze the browser output at the top of the screen, look at the formulas, the price drops, and the highlights. Now map it to the code block down below. Looking at those blank spaces, which semantic tags from your shiny new tool belt are you going to use to generate that exact output? I guarantee, from now on, when you browse the web, you aren't just going to see plain text anymore. You are going to see the semantic architecture holding it all together behind the scenes. So what I want to know is, how will you structure your next digital masterpiece?